You might begin to wonder now, what would it feel like to live in a world where your words don't push against resistance, but instead slip through the gates of minds wide open, like rivers flowing downhill, effortlessly shaping landscapes, not by force but by rhythm, by direction, by curiosity. And maybe you've already begun to notice that questions, real questions, genuine questions, have a strange sacred power. Because the moment you ask them, the mind turns inward and starts searching, not for your truth, but theirs. And as they search, they speak. When they speak, they reveal themselves. When they reveal themselves, they begin to trust, not because you proved anything, because they felt heard. So you ask again and again. 10 questions for every one statement, like planting 10 seeds and watching a forest of connection bloom. And in that forest, where they feel safe, something begins to shift, because every answer they give, it's shaped by their own metaphors, their own stories, their own analogies. And those stories were always theirs. That's why there's no resistance, because you never broke the wall. You invited them to build a door. And each time they step through, they feel that door lead somewhere new. And they look at you and they think you led them there because you asked. And maybe, just maybe, that's how influence begins, not through pushing, but by pulling, through fascination, curiosity, presence. Now think of the beliefs you used to carry, the ones shaped by pain, by fear, by failure, dressed up as finality. What if failure was never a dead end, but feedback from a future self whispering, try again, but this time learn? What if your emotions weren't obstacles, but instruments, each one a frequency, guiding you towards alignment? Your body dancing in tune with mind, breath sinking to truth. And just like that, you begin to realize reality isn't something out there, fixed and firm, but something in here, fluid and flexible, malleable like clay in the hands of a sculptor, whose only tool is awareness, you. You might begin to feel it now, that deep pull, the core level knowing you are enough, not because someone said so, but because you remember what you forgot you always were. You're growing always endlessly. Every challenge a signal, every discomfort a teacher, every tension an invitation. And your curiosity, that relentless spark, that's your compass, because every question opens a doorway to a version of you who already knows the next step. So ask how to connect, and you'll begin to notice that people mirror what you give. Give certainty, they feel safe. Give playfulness, they relax. Give attention, they open. And when they open, you'll realize you were never just speaking to them. You were speaking to their map of the world. And in speaking to their map of the world, you could guide it subtly, beautifully, with a smile in your voice and a question on your lips. People respond not to what is, but to what they believe. And if beliefs can bend, then so can reality. So you start asking better questions, deeper ones, wider ones. You ask, what would happen if that limitation was just a lesson? What do you see if that fear was just a mask for potential? What if failure is just a fork in the road, not the end of the path? And in that answering, that voice shifts, their body relaxes, their eyes soften, because they're not resisting anymore, they're remembering. You begin to learn that charisma is not volume, but vibration. The people feel you more than they hear you. When your internal world radiates certainty, curiosity, authenticity, love, they lean in because they feel seen. And when people feel seen, they stay. And when they stay, they follow, not because you demand it, but because you earned it, by stepping out of your ego and into their story. So let these ideas flow in now, not as concepts, but as truths. Truths that fit like keys into the locks of the unconscious mind. Beliefs like, I'm enough. Every moment is a chance to grow. Failure is just feedback. Reality is fluid. Charisma is emotional resonance. Presence is power. Questions are connection. Action creates clarity. Gratitude creates abundance. Love is something I radiate. I create rapport through curiosity. People respond to my energy. You don't need to memorize them. You already know them. You're just remembering. As this new operating system installs, you may begin to imagine now what your life begins to look like, when every word you say is a doorway, and every question you ask unlocks something profound. And maybe you already do. So ask again and again, because asking is how you lead. And when you lead, you bring people home to themselves, and they thank you for it. But you know the truth. You just ask the right question.